upang ikaw ay sambahin at pasalamatan. Labis ang aming pasasalamat, Panginoon, sa iyong walang hanggang awa at paggalingang patuloy na ipinagkakaloob sa amin. Ang pagpupulong na ito ay inilalapit namin sa iyo upang maging instrumento ng pagkakaisa at pagtutulungan. Tanggalin mo ang puwing sa aming mata nang kami malinawan at makakita sa pananaw at damdamin ng iba. Alisin mo ang balakid sa aming mga pandinig upang aming maulinig hindi lamang ang mga tinig, subalit ang nakakubling hinanaing, hinanakit at kahilingan ng aming kasapi. Gawin mong matalas ang aming mga pangamoy sa sanhi ng sigalot at hindi pagkakaunawaan, at upang malanghap namin ang samyo ng mabangong pananalita at pagpapahayag. Gabayan po ninyo kami upang makita ng aming mga mata at marinig ng aming tenga ang mga aral na ibibigay ng aming mga tagapagsalita. Gabayan mo ang aming mga hakbang nang matiyak namin ang landas na aming tinatahak ay yaong iyong itinakda para sa aming mga yabag. Huwag mo sanang hayaan kami na maglakad ng mag-isa o di kaya'y mga pasadilim at matisod at idapa ng aming kahinaan. Ito ang aming panalangin sa pangalan ni Jesus na aming Panginoon. Amen.
Okay, so again, good morning. So before we formally start, just a recap. This is our 10th day of the public budget presentation, and for the past 10 days, we've already done with 37 offices of LGU Naga out of 58 offices. So halos nakakabanga na po kita. So this will last until September 4. That's our time frame para may time pa na what we call this, review and revisit ang mga offices for their proposed budget. So today, gusto ko po pala na i-acknowledge ang mga nag-aantabay online via Zoom and FB Live. Asin sa mga pag-iriba mingon niya na yaong digdiyo from the offices of SP Secretariat and City Engineer's Office, si Engineer Canning, and si Sir Hill of SP Secretariat. Good morning po. And then sa online, we have from DILG Naga, the DILG Naga, sa Zoom, my fellow board representative, Board of Director, representative of Cooperative Sector, Maria Lucille Nacario, Miss Rosemary Ciudadano from CPDO, and then si Sir Rayan Rentoy from JMR, Good Governance Center. And then sa mga kairiba minigdi, NCPC, and then sa CEPIO. So thank you for assisting us. Today, we will be here. There are two offices who will be presenting their budget. Ang inot po na mapresentar iyo ang sa opisina kang Sangguniang Panglungsod Office and City Vice Mayor's Office. Join me in welcoming the SP Secretary, Sir Hill de la Torre.
Marinaga po sa Gabos, sa NCPC. Ma'am, yung chairman ng NCPC, marinaga po. Engineer Canning and everybody who is watching the live streaming of this presentation. In behalf of Vice Mayor Nene Diasis, allow me to present to you the budget for 2021 of the Sangguniang Panlungsod. The budget will cover the Office of the Vice Mayor, the city councilors, and of course, the Sangguniang Secretariat. So sa Sangguniang po, saro lang ang samong budget. There is no separate from Secretariat, Vice Mayor, and para madali po ang monitoring ang budget. So, yun po niya ang Sangguniang Panlungsod 2021 budget presentation. Our objective of expenditures. Next slide, please, ma'am. We have the personal services. These are the accounts which are common to almost all departments of the city government. This is more on personnel, salaries, benefits, etc. Then we have the maintenance and other operating expenses. For better understanding, of course, the travel expense will cover the traveling expenses of officials and employees. The supplies, mahiling po nindo ang supplies, that will include the Vice Mayor's Office, the City Councilors, and the Sangguniang Secretariat. Then we have the fuel and lubricants, other supplies, postage, telephone expense, mobile, internet subscription, and so on and so forth. Sa capital outlays, we have machinery and equipment. Nahiling po nindong ngunyan na paperless session ngunyan ang Sanggunian. Kaya we are very dependent on technology. Kaya we have to ensure and maintain that the computers of the Sanggunian are running in good condition. So we have the sound systems, the accessories, the monitors, etc. Then we have the furnitures and fixtures, computer software. So for better understanding so that we can compare the last year budget for 2021, we will note that under salaries and wages for regular employees, there is an increase of around 3 million plus. Now, the increase is because of the new positions we created. This is to open an opportunity to our employees for promotions and self-advancement. So we propose 11 new positions. Actually, this is now pending before the Committee on Laws, Ordinances, and Reorganization. We are just waiting for, actually, nag-submit na po ang HRMO of his comments with respect to the proposed positions. So, of course, when there is an increase in salaries and wages, magkakaigwa man ang increase sa rata sa clothing productivity. Kasi nakaakibat man siya duman sa position. So far yan lang po ang medyo daradakula ang increase. Kaya if you look at the subtotal, from 43 this year, we budgeted 51.9 for next year. For maintenance and operating expenses, so nagluluwas po halos parehas lang ang budget kang 2020 and for next year, except for some items na kaipuanan talaga na magkaigwa ng increase. Arag po, for example, kang postage and courier services, dakula ang pigdagdag niya. But to justify the increase, we anticipate that the COVID-19 pandemic will last up to next year. So because of that pandemic, there is a limitation in the movement of people, meaning si messengeriyal, imbes na madara niya sa sarong munisipyo, hindi niya pwedeng gibuon. So we will be very dependent on postage and couriers. So telephone expenses, of course, naglalangkaw mo po si budget, lalo na sa opisina kang Vice Mayor, kaya there is a slight increase in appropriation. So other general services, the same, repair and maintenance, transportation equipment, so on and so forth. So under the maintenance and other operating expenses po, we have an increase of around less than a million, or around 900,000 pesos, from 6.3 to 7.2. Okay? Next slide. For capital outlay, we appropriated 834,000 for machinery and equipment, for office equipment. This is in anticipation of replacement of computers. Kasi ang iba po dyan, 2016 pa. Eventually, may mga sudden breakdown na sa tuyang gamit. So, pig-anticipate na po na magkakaigwa ng replacement by next year. Si information and communication technology equipment, furnitures and fixtures, computer software. Now, there is a proposal of virtual sessions and committee hearings sponsored by Honorable Miles Rakid Arroyo. Medyo dakula po ang kaipuanan miduman na pundo when it comes to technology. Kaya we already consulted the ITO department and some experts. So far, we have not yet considered the costing for next year's budget. But kung ano man po ang kaluwasan ka itong proposal, we can get some from our 2021 accounts para mahipnuan itong kakaipuanan niyang pundo duman sa virtual session and committee hearings. So, yan po yan, si total appropriations from 62 to 72 million. Almost 10 million increase. So, ito pong duwang programs ang city, itong SP student kasanggunian, student participation program, ipapadagos ito next year. Hopefully, maging normal na ang sitwasyon na ipadagos na itong pag-invite sa mga estudyante to attend these sessions. Then, we are expecting also to implement the Enable program, the year-end search for outstanding barangay. Mayo pa man po siyang ngunyan sa budget kasi nga di sa COVID magkadakol kitang uncertainties na data pa sigurado kung ano ang sitwasyon by next year. But hopefully, kung ipadagos po itong program, the budget officer is open to allocate necessary fund for that program. So far, iyo po yan ang budget camp. May mandakulang mga programs and projects na sanggunian compared to other offices as a legislative body. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's for the SP, sir.
Sanggunian. To
Sanggunian,
include secretarial, Vice Mayor's Office, secretarial, and
So,
city
lahat na
council.
siya?
Lahat na po siya, ma'am.
Okay po. So, combined na pala siya na, na budget plan. Okay. Do we have questions online? Mayo pa po. So, siguro, sir, ako as chair ng NCPC, so we understand that we are in a new normal and we have to boost the communication
Yes, ma'am.
technicalities. However, yung kasi kami sa NCPC, since we are also participating in all the standing committees and also with the NCCW, are all volunteers and we are quite scared attending. So we've passed a resolution about this to made it into an online committee meeting. So we are very thankful that you are giving attention to this para ma-observe natin yung health protocol. However, we recommend that the the application or the mode of the online should be user friendly.
Yes.
No po, kasi baka in the end hindi rin kami makagamit if we will not be parang hindi kami ano ba yan, meron ba yung application, meron ba yung kasi common ngayon yung ginagamit pag if you wanted a free online that you wanted to use for meetings, Microsoft Teams, Google Teams, and if you wanted a paid one, the Zoom. That's very common now. But it seems medyo malaki yung ating binudget. Oo. So for me, as I think of it, it's quite medyo ano yung comprehensive yung gagawin. Ang sa akin lang, sir, as bilang nasa sector, sa council, dapat may ensure din natin na ano siya, makakagamit yung
Yes,
mga
yes,
nasa end. Na po. So,
Actually, we will sit down for this.
yes,
Hindi naman to paplanuhin lang ng sanggunian, but all stakeholders will be
okay.
involved. So
Yes.
so that level yung understanding natin how to use the technology.
Sige po. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
We would like to acknowledge the presence of the President of UBOS, Ma'am Trinity Mayor. Good morning po. And at the Zoom also, we would like to acknowledge the presence of our fellow Board of Director in NCPC, Youth Sector Representative, Kani Kwang Min. So, since wala naman po masyadong question, ina-apply ba natin ang GAD program sa SP?
Yes,
How
ma'am.
do we-
Regular po yung
Oo.
natin ng GAD program.
Okay, so mas maganda po naka-reflect sa ating plan yung ano yung intervention natin sa
Okay.
GAD, ano yung strategy natin para klarado.
Okay.
We may not have any allocation of funds or budget. However, it is also good that it is
May
reflected.
separate document kasi ma'am yung GAD.
Okay.
Nasa separate document.
Okay, that's good. Sige po. Thank you. At
Thank
least
you
alam
very
ko
much.
na.
Salamat po sa galas.
Thank you, Sir Hill. Okay. Next. Talagang tinutuon ni Sir Hill yung sabi niya. 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay. For the next presenter, he is the Acting City Engineer Head of City Engineer's Office. Join me in welcoming Engineer Alexander Canning to present the City Engineer's Office budget plan.
Thank you, ma'am. Good
Welcome
morning to
back.
all. Yes, ma'am. And my apology for not being on the scheduled presentation of CEO last Wednesday. We have attended to an equally important concern at sports complex at Pakwal. It's good to know that we are still accommodated this day. Okay. Again, good morning to all. Good morning, ma'am. And with me is our administrative officer, Ms. Dadang Bercasio. First, I would like to thank the council for giving us this opportunity to present our calendar year 2021 budget of City Engineer's Office. Okay. We have a short presentation just to give you the rundown of what we are doing in City Engineer's Office. For our mandate, yes, we are in charge of design, inspection, and construction of maintenance of all public works needs of the City Government of Naga. Next, please. And this is our vision, although it's by 2030, but we are on the right track in providing the implementation for our vision that the City Engineer's Office should be effective and efficient in improving our government, in improving the citizens of Naga lives of Nagaños through quality infrastructure. And for our next, please, mission to provide and manage quality infra facilities responsive to the needs of the Nagaños. And how do we do this? First, there are surveys being conducted before by our city mayor, Nelson Ligacion, on identifying really the needs of all sectors of Naga. So by that results, we do align our projects and programs to the results conducted through surveys. Okay. Next slide, please, para accomplishment na lang. Okay, for our accomplishment, balikan na lang sa nag-skip sa doon sa may environmental, right after organizational outcome. Okay. Okay. For our accomplishment, we have already reduced congestion in public schools with the construction of additional school building facilities. In fact, we have just recently completed 2 school building projects at San Isidro and Santa Cruz. Easement of traffic flow with the new construction of improved roads. Flood alleviation through improvement of our drainage systems. Next, please. Next, please. I would like to inform you really that we have completed the construction of our sanitary landfill at San Isidro, Naga City, and this is now operational, and we are boasting the operation of this because in all of the municipalities and cities of Bicol region, only Legazpi and Naga has an operational sanitary landfill so far. Streamlined permitting procedure on the implementation of National Building Code, maintenance of public structures, ano pa? And, sige po. Iyan po halos si accomplishment, and not to mention the regular activities being conducted also by our maintenance crew of City Engineer's Office. For our proposal for 2021 budget, under PS, we are proposing a 21,091,434. Okay, the increase last year is 13 million. So we have an increase of more than 5 million for 2021. We will be requesting for a creation of position. 1, under administrative section, we have clerk 4 of salary grade 8. This will be under the supervision of our administrative officer because right now, her section is undermanned. she only has three personnel that are mostly utility workers. So she needs really a clerk to do to perform office works under her section. And under our construction engineer, we are proposing for 4 items of engineer 4 of salary grade 22. As you can see, our current section chiefs are having salary grades of 19 only. So if you will note that the department head has a salary grade of 25, it's very far from salary grade 19. So we are proposing an increase or an upgrade of the salary grades of our section chiefs from 19 to 22. Right now we have 5 sections under CEO: building section, construction section, maintenance, planning and design, and administrative section. Also, we are proposing 3 items of engineer 2, 2 items of engineer upgrade of our engineer 1 to engineer 2. These are existing position of engineer 1, but on the recent policy of DPWH, their entry position now for civil engineers are engineer 2, not anymore engineer 1. So we need to upgrade our engineer 1 to engineer 2. And also we are proposing for 5 items of engineering aid of salary grade 4. Why is this? Because right now we have only itemized 5 civil engineers. These civil engineers undertakes on the average 80 projects per year. So if you're going to divide the 80 projects under 5 existing civil engineer, more or less 1 civil engineer is undertaking 12 projects per civil engineer, which is not very ideal. Civil engineer under city engineer's office are undermanned really. So we are proposing for this creation of civil engineers. As compared to other cities and municipalities, they have adequate number of civil engineers as compared to the city of Naga. Also, why engineering aid? Because these are project inspectors. Right now, we only have 3 project inspectors. So you could imagine how do they monitor our projects on a yearly basis. Kaya talagang very talaga siya, the ideal. And at times there are they would be remiss in their duties, but we do exert best effort really to comply with our mandate. Next slide, please. Okay. PS pa din. Halos sa PS lang, duman kami sa ma-increase on our permanent position. And our casual right now numbers 46 personnel. Okay. Okay. As you can see, we have item on overtime and nighttime pay. It's 1 million. Compared last year, it's the same budget for our proposal for 2021. Again, it's still 1 million. But in our experience this year, it's just August, but our budget for overtime and nighttime pay is already depleted. So if the city government still would like to increase our budget on overtime and nighttime pay. Okay. Next slide, please. So all in all, under our PS requirement, last year, we have a total of 31,861,399 pesos. And for this year, for next year, we are proposing a 39,800,729. Okay. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, for our MOOE, these are regular functions of our office. We do maintenance of the infra buildings, roads, bridges, etc. So, iyan po ang budget for every, say, for example, under flood control system, we have 1 million to take care of the maintenance of the entire city of Naga. Okay. And under our road network, we have 3 million, etc. Next slide, please. And ang pwedeng dyan. Okay, next slide. Okay, under our capital outlays, we intend to have for our infrastructure assets under road networks to be at 14,932,000. Our breakdown for that, there are several projects we have already identified under this account. But at times, the city mayor has also their set of priority that we use this program budget for his priority aside from what we have already identified to be implemented by 2021. Okay, so for our flood control system, it's 11 million. For building and other structures, 18 million. Next slide, please. And for our capital outlays under machinery and equipment, we do propose 1 million with the breakdown as follows. We need to have desktop, computer printer, laptop, desktop, etc. These are necessary in the performance of our functions. And also to note that some of our equipment is already outmodeled since 2014. Next slide, please. Okay, ito pa din ang kailangan ng office to improve our services. Next slide, please. So, all in all, we are proposing for 102,752,425 for our budget for calendar year 2021. Hopefully, the City Government of Naga and to the Council will recommend our proposal so that we can better serve really the Nagaeños better for this. So, again, I'd like to also mention that we have 5 sections. 5 sections being handled by 3 females and 2 male. So, in terms of God compliance, I think there are 3 ladies than 2 male. And also, we in every project, we collate data on gender of our participants, whether they have more female than male, so that we can better program our we could better design our program, having a more sensitive on God. That's all. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Canning. So, do we have questions? Abo mo na. Okay. So, we would also recognize the presence through FB Live, our fellow board member of NCPC in NCPC, PWD Federation President, Director Jun Agumaa. So, may question siya, Engineer. Is there a project for the PWD sector from the City Engineering Office such as uh, implementation and monitoring of BP 344?
Ah,
May pangalawa po, ito po si Inot, yung implementation. Pangalawa, accessibility issues in the public and city properties. Dua
okay.
po question.
Yes. As we develop our designs and projects for our projects, we do consider the requirement under this regulation. We make it a point that our building being constructed is accessible by our PWD. And in our old buildings, the existing ones, prior to the implementation of this regulation, we are adopting some we are adopting that the existing building should comply to the regulations set forth by the government, like adding a ramp, having a bigger ano yan, door for our comfort rooms, etc. And on the fourth quarter of this year, we are now to construct a renovation of our comfort rooms in all public places of Naga City that will be compliant to PWD concern.
Okay, so I guess it was already answered, Sir June. Ako, sir, as NCPC Chair naman, I would just like to be clarified on kasi yung mga roads natin, there are roads that are being on an expansion, di ba, yung widening and all. But it seems medyo, paano ba natin yun na ano? Kasi it could cause accidents. So, especially dito sa may Liboton, paano ba natin yung, ang ano kasi natin dyan is ma-ensure yung safety ng tao. Although, it was being mentioned na may mga roads that are nationally identified or classified, pero sa atin, sa LGU, paano po tayo nakikipag-coordinate, cooperate with the DPWH to ensure na mapabilis naman ito?
Yes, ma'am, your observation is correct. Most of the road widening being implemented in the city of Naga is under DPWH concern.
Yeah.
These are under their jurisdiction. So, more often, they would not coordinate it with the city engineer's office before the implementation. What we do is we have already coordinated with Councilor Vidal Castillo, who is the committee chairman on infrastructure. Perhaps he could pass a resolution addressed to the DPWH that any project that are to be undertaken in the jurisdiction of Naga should first be coordinated with the city engineer's office so that we can harmonize our plans together with the plans also of DPWH. Although it's the concern of it's their jurisdiction, but eventually we are the end user of their project also. That we see to it that it should also conform with our standards. I'd like to share with you one observation. In building their drainage system all over the city, we have noted that the elevation of that drainage is not in conformance also to our concern and standards. So if Councilor Castillo really would have a representation with the DPWH that prior to any project conceptualization, implementation, etc., this should be coordinated first with our department.
So, tama po yun. So, dapat talaga, ako, if we would recommend to give action on this, kasi ang isa sa alang-alang natin dito yung mga senior citizen, PWD, yung mga buntis na mga nanay. Kasi they are the one who is always parang lumalabas, na naglalakad. So, sana po mabigyan ito agad ng ano. At tama naman yung inyong proposition na should really coordinate kasi ang ano natin dito, safety. At another thing po, it could also be a reason for the traffic.
Yes,
diba?
ma'am.
For the traffic.
That's correct.
And it's one of our problem. So, kung medyo hindi mabigyan ng pansin yan, talagang magiging for life, parang COVID lang. For life, it would take, parang it takes time para maano. So, dapat talaga ma-actionan. Okay, another question, Engineer. Hapot ko lang po kay Engineer kung paano po maiwasan na pagkatapos kan ginibong kalsada, saka naman po mapakaray kan mga tubo. Ang nawasa kaya, si bagong gibong kalsada, raot na naman, day na maibabalik sa dati. Sayang lang po si ginastos sa proyekto. Thanks. From Trinity Mayor, Ubus President.
Before, ma'am, it's that practice. But I think right now, before constructing a road, it is necessary for the implementing units like our office and DPWH to coordinate first this with our utilities company like MNWD and Casoreco. And also to mention the telcos, telephone companies for this. It is a good observation really that after Nawasa have laid down their pipes, medyo nasasakitan na silang i-restore it to the original condition of the road. But we are doing something about this together with MNWD. Before they could implement any diggings, they need to seek approval and clearance from our office first. And we see to it that right after the completion of their excavation, we give them certain time frame to restore it into its original condition.
Okay po, noted. Siguro po, Engineer, mas better din if we have from your office ning itong Garubaga hotline or igwa din ning accessibility ang common people to reach out for your office na maipaabot ang mga arog gani. Kasi it would be easier for you. Diba? Kasi minsan, may mga, lalo na kung mga sityo-sityo na, di man yan gabusta na, but the people met problems or, encountered problems sa mga arog kaini. So, siguro po, magayon na igwa kita kayan. Or we maximize the organizations na katabang nindo that are existing in the barangay. So, we have our Barangay People's Council. So, maybe we could tap them para ano man itong mga problems na related sa services na pigtatao po nindo sa office, kang city engineer's office, para smooth, no? And then, kasi sayang yung nagiging effort ng LGU.
It's a nice suggestion, really. We will take note of that,
Yes
ma'am.
po. So, parang citizens' participation
Yes, ma'am.
must be, okay.
In addition, engineer, sa mga kaipuhan, may maayos na coordination kasi malinaw yung sa water district na ano po may ulayan na ano taman po itong mga sa poste kasi yung mga kawad ng aramta po poste sa Kasureko yan pero arat siya nagpaparakarabit-kabit na so mga telcos tsaka cable po baga ano so ano po kaya ang marhay na maging aksyon kang LGU, panginutan kang LGU para sa mas maliwanag na koordinasyon kang iba't ibang kumpanya pong iyan?
We are doing that right now. We have started the project this January of 2020. We have convened all the telcos concerned, and on a weekly basis, they conduct clearing operation of their dangling wires scattered all over the city. So we are expecting that at the end of 2 years, you will not see anymore any dangling wires in the city. So if reckoned by January of 2020, we are now on the 9th month of conducting this operation. It's a regular operation, and every end of the month we give status report to the city mayor on this. And we are glad also to inform you that these cable companies are very cooperative. Once we identify the posts or cables that needing their immediate concern, they immediately go to the area and restore whatever disturbance na yaon dyan. More especially so pagka right after the typhoon na may mga tumbang poste, na-assist po to Lucinda.
Do we still have questions? So siguro po may insure lang, meron pa? May insure lang yung ano, di ba you have recommended additional staff for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Sana competitive naman mga sweldo nila. Kasi para at least talagang ma-insure natin yung ano, na qualified naman yung mga taong nandun sa office mo. So, okay, so if we don't have questions anymore, so salamat po, Engineer, for sharing your plan for next year. And everything is documented. We will be providing you the documentation about it to your office so that you can review and consider recommendations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so we're done with the 2 offices scheduled, actually 3 offices reported by 2 officers in the LGU. So salamat po, and we hope to be with you again this afternoon for the continuation of our public budget presentation. Thank you.
Okay po. Okay, thank you.